Hey guys, how you doing? Today is a nice day. I'm doing this video in the morning. I like doing videos in the morning. It gives that extra light, yada yada. So today I'm going to be talking about an important one. It's what is the difference between unconditional love and conditional love, and which one is better? Which one is good for you? Okay, so. Let's start with conditional love. Okay, what is conditional love? Love with a condition. Love with the terms and terms and conditions apply clause. Okay, if you take like a discount coupon for example, and it says certain amount off, but then if it's written terms and conditions apply, and then you go down to the terms and conditions apply clause, and it says, oh, you have to purchase about 1,000 rupees or $1,000 or whatever it is, only then you get this, otherwise it's not valid. So that is the terms and conditions apply clause, and that can work for some, that cannot work for some. But once again, in terms of love, it is something you do not want. You want the genuinity, you want the pure love at all points of time, because love is not trade, love is not a business. Okay, so let me start off by saying like how this all came into how this all started happening. It started because of like a little bit of people pleasing, and how that started was like back in the days, in like prehistoric times, there were different clans, there were different tribes, and mankind was not that evolved. So we couldn't we were living in caves, we were living in clans and tribes where we would all try to protect each other from the wildlife outside. And there were many other dangerous animals, and then fear was a huge part. And what happened was, since fear was a huge part, people would get scared to leave their people didn't want to leave their clan and go out, because they felt that they wouldn't be protected and they wouldn't be supported by they didn't know the existence of the divine, and they thought the physical is the physical, and they genuinely felt scared. And so what happened was, over the time, the head of the clan or whatever started developing a control over all these things, right? The clan itself started developing a control over their own entities, and hence people felt this need of people felt that they didn't feel, it was that when they couldn't express themselves, or when they had an idea that was totally opposing the clan, or it was against the clan, they couldn't really express it, because of the fact that they would if they expressed it, or if they for example, hypothetically, let's think about when two people were gay, then the government would take it against them, and they would put in all these expressions on them, and all these clauses on them, and they would literally stress them into a corner, and tell, oh, this is not, you're gonna be chopped off, yada yada yada. They would impose a little fear into them back in the days. Okay, but what if the person was actually gay, and he wanted to express himself, and he wanted himself to be heard about? Okay, and he wanted to be genuinely truthful to himself, but he couldn't, because of the fact that the clan or the higher up society had a controlling factor over those clauses, and hence this has been happening over generations and generations and generations. And this is the point, when we come onto earth, when we are brought into earth, everybody is uniquely. There are 7.7 billion people as of now, and there are 7.7 billion different experiences. Okay, and each experience, and each personality, and each trait of each person is different. Okay, so it's only necessary for each person to express themselves out genuinely and do the things that are good for themselves. But during these generations of the controlling system, okay, right from prehistoric times, people have not been able to express themselves, and on the other end of the spectrum, people have learned to please other people in order to get something done. Okay, and when you're pleasing somebody, you're making somebody else, you're trying to make somebody else happy, and in return they're giving you acceptance, or they're giving you love, they're giving you affection. This has also become a very, very natural thing in families. It's like only if you get good grades will your mother love you, or will your mother give you a present. It's this bait and reward system, you know. It's not, yeah, it's like do and reward system. So in that sense, the relationship between a mother and a son, a lot of mother and a son, or a mother and a daughter, and a mother and a kid, a lot of times have been conditional due to different factors, maybe even factors that have affected the mother's life or the father's life, or any parent's life. So it's been like, oh, you do this, you get good grades, okay, I love you even more now. You get lesser grades, oh no, I don't love you as much. You can satisfy my expectation of something, yeah, I will love you. But if you do not satisfy my expectation of something, there is no need to love you. So that, my friends, is conditional love. And when you're a victim of conditional love, you can feel like you're sitting in a cage. You can feel like your parents are not approachable, because your genuine self, your genuine nature is something that is different from their expectation, right? And they have an expectation of you, and people change. Okay, we change every second. The world is changing every second, and we are a part of the world. The universe is moving every second. Energies are moving every second, and we are all energy. We are all moving. But certain people can't even accept that change, and when they expect you to fit into their quotation, when they expect you to fit into their expectation of things, and only then they want to show you love if you satisfy their expectation. Only then if they want to show you love, or only then if they want to show you joy, or only then if they want to give you something. That, my friends, again is a conditional love. As a victim, you feel like a cage. You feel like you cannot express yourself to somebody else. You feel like you're living in somebody's house, and you're pleasing them to get something in return. It feels more like a business rather than love itself. Now, on the other side is unconditional love, and that is the true purest form of love, and that's the love that actually needs to be there. This conditional love has happened over generation, and it's happened over the fact that people need a place to stay, people need financial security, and people need support, and people need protection, and hence it's become as a trade. And when that's become as a trade, the genuinity of thyself is not being expressed, and that creates a sense of blockage for that victim. But on unconditional love is a love that you give to somebody, no matter what the situation, no matter what the age, no matter what the personality, no matter what the characteristics, no matter what the mistakes the person might have made. Okay, this unconditional love comes without an expectation. Literally, there is no condition. If I just went to a temple or a church or a mosque or any place for the matter of fact, and I said charity, I'm going to donate like about 500 rings or 500 bracelets to different people without an expectation from them in return, that is once again an act of unconditional love. You just want to give things to different people and just without expecting anything in return, and that is unconditional love. And unconditional love is actually love. Unconditional love is actually love. Conditional love is love with a business involved in it, and love with a trade-off involved in it. It's not a physical trade-off, but it's an emotional or mental trade-off, and that trade-off is usually very unpleasant because you're not living your true authentic self when you're doing that. And unconditional love, you will get it. You will get it from people who are typically your soul family, okay? And now the soul family is different from your regular family, or it could even be a part of your regular family. But the soul family, what they do is they give you unconditional love, and these are people in life that you would have to find, like a very good friend of yours, that he accepts you no matter who you are. After even 10 years you've changed, you've gone through all shitty experiences, and still he accepts you and he tries to help you for that. That, my friends, is unconditional love. Love without a condition, love without a terms and conditions apply clause is unconditional love. You can even get unconditional love from anybody. From a man walking on the street can give you unconditional love. Like I said, if you go, you're just giving away things to somebody else, you're actually showing an act of unconditional love without an expectation. If you're giving some things to different people, or you could just show unconditional love in different ways possible, or you could even receive unconditional love in different ways possible, but that's possible. But that's the love that is the purest form of love. And if you're a victim of conditional love, try to get out of it, because it's toxic, and it only does the victim more and more harm, in the sense that the victim is not able to be their genuine self. For what I would say for people in these situations experiencing conditional love, and where love is like a business, especially with the family or with the parents or with siblings, ground yourself to the ground. Know what you want and ground yourself to the ground, your energy to the ground, okay? Understand, be strong, stable, be grounded in what you want, and express yourself to the person, to the opposition, whoever it be, who's trying to do this trade-off with you, who's trying to do this manipulative trade-off with you. So so if you're feeling like you're a victim, stand your ground, express yourself. And if things are not moving out, if things are not changing, walk out, okay? That's a relationship that you do not want. And these things are, what do you say, there are karmic toxic cycles that keep happening, even with relationships. And that matter of fact, if you're always trying to please a girl or please a guy or the opposition sex, and you're not doing something for the own genuine nature of yourself, then it's once again you are imparting a sense of you, like there is a conditional love toxicity trying to happen right there. And it's a karmic cycle. It's a karmic cycle that's been happening from generations. Like I said, it's been happening from the prehistoric times, because we felt fear, and we were being fearful of these situations. And so that is something that needs to be cut out. That karmic toxic bond needs to be cut out, and once it is cut out, that cycle never happens again, because you have learned something from that. You have learned not to accept conditional love anytime again, and only to accept unconditional love, or not to accept anything at all, because at all points of time, guess what, you love yourself. Self-love is important. So it's either like you want to have good food, or you want to have the regular food, but you do not want to have the rotten food, because you know the rotten food is going to create a tummy upset. And get what you want, because that's why you're here on earth for. You're here to be the best version of yourself. You're always here to be the best version of yourself. And the best version of yourself is something that you genuinely know from within your heart, from within your intuition, from within your mind. You know what you want to be doing on earth. If somebody doesn't if somebody wants to create a trade-off for something different, that's conditional. If somebody just wants to show you love, affection, support, no matter what the situation is, no matter who you are and what you want to do on earth, that is unconditional. And accept the unconditional stuff for what it is. And if you're finding stuck, find your soul family and move away from the toxic relationships, no matter what it is. If it's with your parents, siblings, whatever it is, wherever it is, try to get out of those toxic relationships. Why? Because we are all going through a process of healing on earth, and once you do that, you might think you're doing something wrong, but on a spiritual level, both of you are actually healing from that process. Both of you are actually going one grade up in the spiritual growth. level. Y'all both are learning from this experience of letting go from these toxic relationships. They're the bullying person, the person who's trying to make this trade off with you, is learning that this is not right and I shouldn't be doing this. And while you are learning to stand your ground and go for what you genuinely and truly for who you genuinely and truly are. Okay guys, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. This video is again from That Spiritual Mindset. Okay, I love you, love you, love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And have a great day ahead. Thank you, bye.